There you are. Any questions on that? Yes?
The sugar that is naturally in fruits, is that, I know on this program it says to eat twice as more vegetables and fruits, is that why?
That is exactly why, because it's still, you know, and this is a very common mistake in, quote, dieting. Consuming fruits because we're told, oh, you know, fruits are healthy, they're good for you, but fruits still have fructose, and fructose still elicit an insulin response. So think of fruit as Earth's candy, okay? It's got its place as a dessert, but it's not something that you want to rely on completely.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why in this program I recommend that you use the fruits in your shakes to sweeten that up, and leave your meals free of sugar like fructose. Another thing too, it's important to think about is we want to kind of give the taste buds a chance to kind of recover from the constant stimulation of sugar. And that's where Gymnema comes in, and Gymnema is really good. I heard you talking about Gymnema earlier. Gymnema is a godsend for that. You know what it stands for, right? The sugar destroyer. For those of you that don't know, if you take Gymnema, Gymnema is an herb that a lot of times...
they have it for kids, they have
oh, they have it in, okay. Okay, it's Dr. Shirilla is including it in the kit, but if you take Gymnema and cut that in half and put it under your tongue, just let it sit there for a couple seconds. After only a couple seconds, if you were to try to eat, like, say, a Hershey Kiss, it's going to taste like wax. If you put a tablespoon of sugar in your mouth, it'll taste like sand. Yeah. And here's the reason why, because if you will, topically, it will anesthetize the taste buds for sugar. But what's really impressive about Gymnema is how it can help you balance sugar levels. Which I guess I should cover really quick. Do I have 2 minutes? Okay. You know, I'm convinced this is something that I believe, and you can think about this. I think that most of the fluctuations in emotions and mood, a lot of times patients are misdiagnosed with so many conditions that all come back to here, to sugar. Some people are better at managing fluctuations in sugar, and other people, it affects them more. And I can tell you, for me, I mean, I've got a set point. My blood sugar gets too low, and I just shut down. I shut down. So I don't get angry, but some people get angry. You know, their blood sugar levels drop, and they can't. So these are the people you see, they're in a high one moment, they're happy, and they're your best friend, and the next moment, they're not. And so they get on a medication thinking, I'm bipolar, like they've told me I'm bipolar. But in all reality, we just help these people, and just in balancing sugar, it makes a huge impact on their mood. What we have for something like that, Gymnema is great for that. That's how I got on that. Gymnema is great for balancing those sugar in the blood. Inositol, which is in the B family, is also very good for that. Inositol, ironically, is sweet to the taste. So you take a little bit of inositol, and it's really interesting how it works that quickly. You just chew on inositol if you ever get like a sugar craving, or you feel like you're getting cranky. Yeah, and these are the same people that say they go hours without eating and they're fine. They're not fine. It's just that maybe we block that hunger sensation, but it exhibits itself in our emotions, in our mood throughout the day. So I think it's an interesting phenomenon that medical doctors don't really think a lot about. It can come down to something as simple as maintaining sugar levels. So this is a reason why you want to eat frequently until you're, and oh, by the way, and can anyone guess what maintains blood sugar levels? What is the organ that's mainly responsible for maintaining blood sugar levels? We talked about 2.
Liver.
Liver is the second one. It's the first. You know what? You're right. The pancreas through insulin, but even more important than that, Because once the pancreas has done its job, we ate, what's going to get us through the next meal? The adrenals. You got it. The adrenals. You see this link, you see this dance, it's really, really fascinating. Because it's the adrenals that are going to help us maintain sugar levels. How? By producing those hormones we looked at. Cortisol, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. I mean, that's what the adrenals are really there for, to get us from one meal to the next. So my point is, while we're rehabilitating our adrenals, it's good to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And eventually you'll get to a point where, you can go 4 or 5 hours to the next meal. But that's a very healthy person, that can do that. Just like kids, kids are fascinating because they're so fresh. Everything is working the way it should. Kids can eat sugar right now, and they never get that dip in energy. They go and they stay the whole time. My daughter, I get sugar, and she becomes a totally different kid. Totally different, and doesn't come down. That's the adrenals kicking in and maintaining blood sugar levels. Whereas as adults, what happens to us? We go and have, you go to Olive Garden for lunch. What's going to happen an hour later at work? You're going to be ready to crash. Why? Do we see that in kids? We don't, because their adrenals are doing what they're supposed to be doing. For us, it's a different story. We've taxed our adrenals for so long. So the adrenals get us from one meal to the next. Again, I got on this whole topic because of maintaining sugar levels and gymnema. Gymnema helps with that. So in my understanding, or what I would recommend to someone is, you know what? If you're moody, take gymnema. You'd be surprised. It helps tremendously. Inositol is another one that's very, very good as well. Just chew on some inositol tabs, and you'll feel a lot better. A lot better.
Is there anybody with the inositol or whatever it is that it doesn't do anything for? Because I've taken it. It tastes good.
Yeah.
It tastes good. Doesn't seem to change craving or anything like that.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there is. Most reports are yes. It's favorable toward that.
What would be the reason?
What could be? You know what? If you have someone whose liver is really taxed, then we can help. With providing these raw materials so the adrenals can do their job and everything, but we still need to address the liver. So it could be this person's blood sugar fluctuations are more the result of a liver that's not being able to maintain blood sugar levels. And how does the liver do that? Through its processing of fats. There's a couple things that blunt the insulin response, by the way. So this will help you in later, coming off of the program, later coming to a meal and deciding what is truly healthy and what isn't. 3 things, 3 macronutrients, or 3 foods. Fiber helps blunt the insulin response. Fats help blunt the insulin response. Proteins help blunt the insulin response. Guess what you're eating while you're on the program? Not the first 10 days yet. You're not getting a lot of protein from meats, but you will later. Protein, fats, and fiber in vegetables. We're blunting the insulin response. So those 3 things, again, fiber, fats, and proteins. This is why it's crazy when you see people, businessmen, stopping by the Speedway in the morning. I live right next to one, so I see this. Getting business suits going in and leaving a donut and a coffee. That's so bad. It's such. There's no. That's insulin. That's stress hormones through the roof. So yeah, there's no blunting of that insulin response. And that's what we go back to the course. That's what this course is here for this type of, information. So you understand that once you get through this, you're able to make better decisions in what you're eating. You should, if you can, every meal, think about, where's my fiber coming from? Where's my fat coming from? And where is the protein coming from? If you do that in every meal, and that's what you focus on, you're gonna eat healthy. You're gonna feel better, more energized through the day. Let me tell you this too. That food pyramid, it's upside down. We need to turn it this way. Okay, the food pyramid is carbohydrates at the bottom, grains. Guess guess what industry supports the American Dietetic Association the most? Yeah, it's a grain industry. So, but in our reality, we need to focus the opposite way. We have, yes, we have some need for carbohydrates, especially athletes, but not most Americans. I mean, we're driving from one place to another. There's really not much of a justification for a diet that's very heavy in carbohydrates. Athletes, a little different story. I mean, you can see what Michael Phelps eats. You know, it's just, it's incredible. But you know, that calorie expenditure is there too. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, so that went pretty okay. You know, sometimes like you just know when you're on and you're not, and that was I thought I had a lot more info than I did, and then at the end there I had to kind of ask for more questions to give them a little more substance, which worked really well. There was I think it drove the point home, the effects of sugar in the body and things that most people don't talk about. So hopefully for you, athletes or people, you that want to compete, now you understand why we do the things that we do as far as avoiding sugar and staying away from foods that don't maybe aren't associated with sugar but still in the body convert to sugar, and what that means to your health, from the adrenals to the liver and all that, and why it's so important to eat fiber, to eat healthy fats and eat protein. I mean, we're, a lot of times you think of protein, you think of bodybuilders, so there's a good reason for that. So hopefully that was informative for you as well, and it gives you a good idea of what I do and my day. So next time we'll see you in the gym or at the weigh-in.